Well, Max Kellerman, you keep using your hands and bringing up the word blame. The word that's been used in this question for this particular topic is responsible. You don't associate blame with LeBron as if there is fault, because obviously he's the greatest in the world. He shows up on a consistent basis to perform, and we have to give respect where respect is due. But we also have to sit up there and make sure we highlight that the word responsible is appropriate here. Is LeBron responsible? You're damn right he is. But he ain't the only one. It's 50-50 to me between him and Dan Gilbert. It's because he's partly responsible for the relationship that he and Gilbert has as the owner of this franchise. Gilbert doesn't care right now. Gilbert's whole mentality is that, look, are you going to commit to the next 3 to 5 years? The answer from LeBron was no. That's not something that he was willing to talk about prior to this season taking place, which is why ultimately Gilbert made the decision to appease Kyrie Irving and his wishes and trade him, because Kyrie still had 2 years left on his deal. Cleveland didn't have to trade him. They could have held on to him like LeBron suggested purportedly that they do, and Gilbert wasn't willing to listen. So you have Gilbert doing something his superstar didn't want him to do because his superstar didn't do something the owner wanted him to do. And when you have that, everybody else is stuck in the middle. We can look at J.R. Smith. You're a starting shooting guard in the National Basketball Association. Starting and averaging 7 points a game, 7.6 points per game. That's just pathetic. It's just no other way to slice it. You look at that, that's problematic. Kevin Love, he's clearly the second best player on this team, has battled a few injuries, knicks-knacks here and there, but he started. He's at the 5. Tristan Thompson's coming off the bench, fresh off of an injury. He's not 100%, plus he's just learning how to be a reserve. We look at Isaiah Thomas looking for his money. I'll get into some of this later on in the show, but ultimately what this comes down to is that everyone is stuck. We can look at everybody, to JR, to D-Wade, to Tristan, to K-Love, to Isaiah Thomas, to Coach Tyronn Lue. We could look at everybody, but they're all sandwiched in the middle, Max, of Dan Gilbert's relationship with LeBron. And Dan Gilbert is the owner and the steward of this franchise who cuts the check and seems to be a bit truculent these days if you listen to some of the people talk about his relationship with LeBron, because LeBron wouldn't commit. But then also LeBron can't escape responsibility, because what does he do? He doesn't just go out there and play. What LeBron says is, it's my team. It's my players. I've got to lead these guys, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? It doesn't look like you're doing that too well right now. So they both harbor responsibility.
I want to address Dan Gilbert, then I want to address LeBron. Stephen A. Smith, Dan Gilbert is only capable of being a negative force. He has zero to do with the success of the Cavs. Zero. He's nothing. Zero. If he thinks he did something, he's wrong. Any owner would have done what he did in the same situation. Many would have handled it better than he did, probably few worse. It is ridiculous to think he's done anything in a league with a salary cap and a max deal, and everyone would have given LeBron the same deal. He's just lucky LeBron was born in the area. And also, in a way, like the Jeff Fisher effect. He was so bad for so long, they stockpiled talent, the Rams did. The Cavs were so bad once LeBron left. They got the #1 pick in the draft every year for 1,000,000 years. At a certain point, even when you miss on guys like Anthony Bennett, you've stockpiled talent. So now, finally, when he starts to do something kind of proactively, Dan Gilbert, it's the wrong thing, of course. He's a terrible owner. LeBron James, I want to say this, though. A lot of the problem right now is defensive for the Cavs. They're a defensive sieve. Like, they're a liability almost all over the court on defense. And I think LeBron James is also responsible for that. Now, he needs to pace himself at his age for the playoffs. So when it matters most in high-leverage moments, he can play excellent defense, which he still can. He's still a all-time great defender when he needs to be. Ain't no one going to stop Kevin Durant one-on-one. No one. Whoever lived. But he's an all-time great defender at multiple positions when he needs to be. In order to do that, he has to save himself in the regular season. So why is it his fault, the defense? Because as the leader of the team, he needs other guys to step up and play some defense, even if he's not leading by example. They're not in their 15th year, having played in every finals ever, right? So guys like Tristan Thompson, who you brought up, who LeBron got paid, he got those guys paid essentially as a de facto GM. Those guys have to be self-motivated. Guys all over the floor. Isaiah Thomas can only do so much. He's 5'8", 5'9". Like, he'd like to play defense. He's just too small. But the other guys on that team need to play defense in the absence of LeBron leading the way by example. He needs to save himself. That doesn't mean the whole team does on defense. And a lot of these guys got paid because of LeBron. And what he needs right now is for them to be self-motivated players, not just motivated by the best player on the floor. That said, I do think Stephen A., there is time, given the current roster even. They could use a rim protector, but given the current roster, that Isaiah and LeBron and company can start clicking. They got plenty of time for Isaiah to get his legs under him, to integrate the offense, for LeBron toward the end of the season to start playing defense, leading the way for the guys to follow him. And I believe that, in fact, is what will occur because LeBron always makes the finals.